Up with Eshomo Moimudu and TJ Suadewi in our Abuja studio for FCT Brief. Good morning, guys. It's over to you now.
Good morning, Veronica and the rest of the team. It's good to be on the program this morning.
Yeah, good morning, colleagues over there in Lagos. TJ, yes. There's this news item we need to talk about. They say Credit Corp NYC unveiled 200,000 naira loan scheme for core members. The other NL fund is there, loan for students. When you finish school, you're on loan. Then you serve again, probably be on loan. And you get out to start work. Probably you don't get a job. So you have a burden of loan.
Well, my first question is, what is the purpose of this loan? If it's to establish them in business, and I will say that is a well-intended initiative. You know, let's be honest. In a country like Nigeria, where unemployment seems to be the order of the day, I think access to credit may be the next big thing. So if it's properly managed, of course, this can be a right step in the right direction. However, if we take our mind back, like the NEL fund you mentioned, if it's not properly managed, of course, this has a risk of not reaching the right people that it was designed for, which is the coppers, the average coppers, and also it might also be another conduit pipe to, private pockets. So we've seen initiatives like this being established, but the problem is implementation. If there's poor implementation, it risks collapse, and the purpose for it is defeated.
Now, for me, I actually think it's a misplaced priority because, like I said, students get loan, and during your service year, most times you are not posted to your location. You don't get a loan to establish where. Now, if it is a post-NYC scheme, it may be a good one, so that when he gets back to where he wants to settle, he must have learned a craft, then he can. But during the service year, 1 year, you want to give him loan. And
but they usually learn Saeed. That is
but in a location that is not his base. So most times that money will be spent not because he wants to develop a business.
We'll keep our eye on how that turns out.
Let's give you what we have for you today. Now, good morning and thanks for joining us on FCT Brief. And we are live from the city. We are power meets people, and every story counts. Now, with the 2027 general elections on the horizon, political movements are beginning to align behind potential candidates. One of such movements is the Southwest Agenda for Asiwaju, popularly known as Swaga, and has thrown its full weight behind President Bola Tinubu, defending his its potential re-election bid and outlining what it describes as the unfinished business of national transformation. As conversations around the 2027 begin to gain momentum, the Southwest Agenda for Asiwaju Swaga is not leaving anything to chance. At the press briefing held in Lagos, leaders of the group reaffirmed their unwavering support for President Bola Tinubu, defending what they termed a well-grounded plan for Nigeria's long-term stability and development.
Swaga highlighted key milestones in the current administration's agenda, including fuel subsidy removal, foreign investment drive, and infrastructural projects, saying these policies form the bedrock of a renewed Nigeria. The group also dismissed criticisms from opposition parties and civil society groups, stating that most reforms require time to yield full results. While President Tinubu has yet to formally declare interest in second term, Swaga's position signals the beginning of a spirited campaign season that could reshape the country's political dynamics. And Senator Dayo Adeyeye is the national chairman, Southwest Agenda for Asiwaju, and he is live in our studio this morning. It's good to have you in our studio.
Good morning,
Senator.
Nice to be here.
Well, let's begin with the obvious. Swaga was one of the first to start pushing President Tinubu's presidency, even before he officially declared in his during the first term. But this is a whole new ball game now, and with everything happening, are you really prepared for what lies ahead?
Absolutely, we are very much prepared. We started the campaign in 2020 to draft Asiwaju Bola Tinubu into the arena to vie for the presidency of Nigeria. And our argument then was that we are looking for somebody who has the vision to move Nigeria out of the quagmire we found ourselves. Somebody who had the passion to drive that vision, and then who is a man of action, who will take action. Hence, our slogan was vision, passion, and action. We wanted somebody who has the right vision for Nigeria, who has the passion for the country, and who is a man of action to drive it. Because more often than not, you find people who may have the vision, but they don't have the wherewithal to take necessary action to actualize those visions. But we have so much, we have been vindicated. President Bola Tinubu has surpassed our expectations. He has done extremely well. What we thought, because we knew Nigeria was sinking, it was a ship that was sinking, it needed to be rescued. And he came on board and rescued the sinking ship, and I believe he's moving us gradually to a safe harbor. Okay. So we want to let Nigerians know the good things that President Bola Tinubu have done. More often than not, citizens that you are working for do not even know how fundamentally your policies may affect them, not immediately, but in the near future and in the long term. So it is our duty, our responsibility now to spread the gospel to every nook and cranny of Nigeria, to let them know the good things that the president has been doing and the even greater things that we do if we give him the chance to have a second term.
Okay. Talking about Swaga is a Southwest agenda, and also look at it, we have 5 other geopolitical zones. Now, are you working in network with every other section of the country so that his candidacy will be promoted there? And what edge? Because most parties are now saying, okay, we're zoning the presidency to the South, which he is also from the South. What edge are you presenting to the other parts of the country, to Nigerians, that this is the edge this man has and to qualify him to go for a second term?
We started with the Southwest when we commenced this journey because, as they say, charity begins at home. A politician must demonstrate that he has support in his own base. You can't come and convince me that I should support you if I am not absolutely certain that your own base will support you too, your own area, your geopolitical zone. That was why we wanted to prove to Nigerians that actually Bola Tinubu was a man that was in command of the support of his people in the Southwest, and then to ask other Nigerians to embrace him. And we succeeded to a large extent in that objective, in the sense that we started as in the Southwest, moving from one state to another. But before we were even able to complete all the states of the Southwest, states from the other geopolitical zones were interested in our project. They started contacting us that they want to launch similar things in their areas. And I had the great privilege and honor to go to Akwa Ibom to launch a chapter, which they call Akisat, using their own names. We went to Delta to do the same, to Cross Rivers, to Kogi, to Kwara, to Benue, to Plateau. All of those states embrace, belong to different geopolitical zones. They embrace the vision and the mission of Achiwaju, and they were our affiliates in Swaga, and we collaborated and worked with them to realize the vision of making Achiwaju Bola Tinubu the president of Nigeria. So, yes, we are going to link up with similar organizations across the country, and I'm very happy that even unlike before, when there were so many doubting Thomases, so many skeptics who think it was not a realizable objective. Now, a lot of people have made contacts with us in the North Central, in the Northwest, in the South-South, in the Northeast. Every geopolitical zone, they have been contacting Swaga, saying they want partnership with us. They want to adopt our model, and then we should collaborate together to, commence this what I would call the second missionary journey of Achiwaju Bola Tinubu to make so this time around, by the grace of Almighty God, it's going to be a national project. It's not a Southwest project, it's a national project.
All right. Well, with what you said, this time the opposition has also switched gears. The ADC is being positioned now as the new alternative for opposition members. But ironically, many of their members are from the APC. How do you plan to outperform people who know your playbook?
Who are the members from the APC? I can only say maybe 2 prominent members who are former governors and whose electoral value is in serious question now, is in doubt. I see the ADC as, it had a steep birth, died on arrival. It's absolutely dead. I don't see it as offering any potential opposition, any potential problem, any serious challenge to the APC at all, not to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Look at the characters, the people who are in the leadership of this DC. I do not want to disparage anybody, but please, you are experienced journalists. What is their electoral value today? A lot of them are SDs, that, spent forces, whose electoral value is seriously in doubt in their various areas. I don't want to mention them one by one, but if I decide to mention them one by one, it will be so vivid to you that they may be making a lot of noise, but there is no substance to them. So we are not bothered about that, but we will face the task. We take nothing for granted, but the ADC is not, we are not looking at it at that group of people as if we should lose any sleep, not at all.
Okay, Senator, there is a recent conversation in some quarters, especially in the north. People saying that, look, power should go back to the north. And recently they met in Kaduna, where some are trying to push a narrative that the north should have it. You talking about the incumbents from the south. I know some people are saying, okay, it's still the turn of the south. What would you like to say to those people from the north that are saying, look, this thing should come back to us?
What I would say to them is that they should put the interests of the nation above sectional interests. They should put the interests of the nation above selfish interests. Nigeria is a very diverse country in terms of its ethnic composition, in terms of religion, and some other variables. We should keep on emphasizing the centripetal forces while trying as much as possible to put less emphasis on the centrifugal forces that may put us apart. We need equity and justice and fairness in this country. And the leaders of this country, the founding fathers, realized that from the beginning. Hence their idea. It may not be written, it may not be cast in iron, it may not have been put in black and white in the Constitution, but it's generally agreed that power should rotate between the north and the south of Nigeria. Some people have even argued that power should rotate between the geopolitical zones. But okay, we can start with rotation between north and south generally. And that we have maintained since 1999. When President Obasanjo was going in 2007, there were people who were contesting from the south, like former Governor Odili and co. But common sense dictated that if we must maintain unity in this country, the power should go to the north. Unfortunately, President Musa Yar'Adua could not complete his 8-year term because of illness, and he died while in office. And so, by constitutional arrangement, by constitutional provision, President Jonathan had to succeed him as vice president. So, he was the vice president, he has to succeed him. That, to some sense, upset some people who thought that, no, Jonathan should not be allowed to do a second term. And then we saw those forces coming up together. To some extent, they had justification, which was what encouraged the election of President Muhammadu Buhari. But the principle has been established, rotation between the north and the south. And it's generally agreed that if we do 8 years in the north, the south should be allowed to do 8 years also. So, south doing 4 years, and then you say power should go immediately back to the north. That is not the way to promote national unity. That can cause serious problem for us in our polity. And I want to persuade those people to please exercise patience. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as we have now seen, is trying to balance things around the country. It's not as if he's favoring one section against the other. He should be allowed to do his second term. What I want to say is let power remain in the South.
All right. Well,
for 8 years.
We hear you. Well, but let's still dwell on this northern agenda. Northern support may be shaky, and here's why. Babachir Lawal and even Kwankwaso have accused Tinubu administration of sidelining the North. And if key northern voices like this feel this way, how do you not want to effectively campaign in these regions?
Is Babachir Lawal a key northern voice? I'm sorry to say it's not. Because some people are rabble rousers who like to make noise every time. You think they are voices. You see, I don't want us to, you see, the North, people talk about the North as if it's a monolithic entity.
But they have proven to, poll a lot of votes during elections.
The North is not a monolithic entity. The North is made up of 19 states. It's made up of...
But politically, they usually speak with one voice.
I don't agree with you. The North is diverse in terms of religion, very diverse in terms of its ethnic composition. So many, in fact, in the North alone, you have over 200 ethnic groups. And right from the First Republic, we have always made this generalization. We just come up, analysts come up, and just issue generalizations. They not vote with one voice. No. In the First Republic, let me tell you, why Sardauna reigned supreme over most of the areas of the North, there was NEPU in Kano. Aminu Kano was winning all the elections in Kano in the First Republic. And there was the United Middle Belt Congress, led by J.S. Taka, for the Middle Belt, who are also winning elections. As a matter of fact, people like Solomon La were contesting under UNBC into the House of Rem, and they were winning. There's no monolithic voting pattern in the North. And then you come to the Second Republic. President Shehu Shagari and the MPN won in some areas of the North, not all areas. In the Northeast, GNPP reigned supreme under Alhaji Waziri Ibrahim. GNPP control areas which now you will now call Yobe, Borno, Taraba, Gombe, Adamawa. All those areas were not under the MPN control, and they are not. And then you add Sulumola in Plateau, MPP. So where is the monolithic voting pattern? Why is the uniform voting pattern in the North?
So don't
the
you
North
think,
is diverse.
Don't
it's
you
made
think
up of many,
this issue of marginalization that
I'm coming to the issue of
raised,
marginalization. I'm still analyzing because we need to educate ourselves. People should stop making the generalization to say the North are said. Who is saying that? Is it Plateau that is saying it? Or are you saying it on behalf of Borno? There is no, we have established that there is no single voting, no monolithic or uniform voting pattern in the North. Then you come to even this republic that we are in. In 1999, who won the election in Borno and Yobe and all those places? Is it not the ANPP? Yeah. And who won in Kano? PDP. And then you come to even to present arrangement. You have states being controlled by PDP. You have others being controlled by APC in the North. It's not one party that dominates all the 19 states of the North. The people of the North are diverse. Everybody they have different interests. The interests of the people in Kwara may not necessarily coincide with the interests of the people in Kano or with the interests of the people in Borno. And everybody is trying to fight for his own interests. But what I can say is that, as we see it today, that entity you call the North, which is made up of 19 states in 3 geopolitical zones, nobody can claim to speak for all of them. People aggregate these things to create fear or to assume undue influence for themselves, which anybody who is discernible, anybody who has observed Nigerian politics, anybody who is experienced in this system, know that they are just making noise.
Well, as much as you say they are making noise, you're still yet to address the issue of the marginalization,
yes,
because this is quite a sentiment that is shared across a large amount of people, especially from the North.
Well, there is that one can easily be disproved empirically. Recently, about 2 weeks ago, there was a summit in Kaduna. I think you all It was covered by your station here, Ahmadu Bello Foundation. And a lot of northern leaders were present there. I believe a great case was made for this government to prove that this government has not marginalized the North. As a matter of fact, why people say appointments are not going to the North, 52% of all appointments are in the North. Majority of the projects are in the North. That is the truth. But it is the responsibility of the government, of the federal government, to push out these facts, to enlighten the people. That is why information is key. Information in a system like this is very key. Until that event, a lot of people did not know these facts. And therefore, there was a general perception. Because it takes one or two people to make a statement and for everybody to believe them, if careful research is not done to counter it. So that perception that you are talking about is merely a perception. It's not the reality. The reality is that the North is not marginalized. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is fair to the North, is fair to all parts of Nigeria.
When we cannot come to a group like yours, Swaga, it's also part of the things you want to push out, that there is no marginalization. And you want to identify areas where you feel, look, this is what this government is doing, this is what the government is doing. And you also want to identify some strategic value addition this government has brought into the system. What are those things you want to just pick out and say, look, this and this and this and this that this government has done is key and qualifies him to go for a second term?
First of all, I want to say that the president has been bold enough to take some important very courageous decisions. For example, the removal of fuel subsidy. It has been on the cards for more than 25 years. Every successive government knew that it was crippling the economy. It was killing Nigeria. It was suffocating everybody. But nobody had the courage to remove it because they want to play to the gallery. Like they say, politicians think of the next election. Everybody's afraid of the next election. But statesmen think of a generation. And so the president was not thinking of election. He was thinking of the future of Nigeria, of generations to come. And then he took that decision, which was a very courageous decision. If he had not taken the decision at the time he did, in 2023, when he immediately assumed office, the very day he assumed office, we can imagine the scenario we will be now, which will be a situation in which Nigeria is not even able to import any fuel at all. The Dangote refinery that we are touting as a huge success today will not be operational. Everything would have been crippled. And like I told some people in Lagos some days ago, maybe all of us would have been riding bicycles. It was a horrible situation, very bad. Now it's saved up from that situation. Now we can breathe. Well, prices have gone up, but prices will also come down. People are adjusting. And prices will, sooner water will find its own level. Things will come to normalization. With the introduction of CNG and some other things, inflation will be reduced, particularly food inflation. So I think he has taken that decision to at least allow Nigeria, to give Nigeria a lifeline to survive. Because otherwise, we were in a very terrible situation. And then the floating of the currency of the naira against the dollar has also helped the economy, because what we were doing was merely to subsidize the lifestyle of the elite who wants to travel abroad, who wants to buy foreign goods, who wants to send their children to foreign schools. The vast majority of Nigerians, 90% of who live in rural areas, have nothing to do with the dollar. They don't even know the meaning of dollar. So the president has now liberalized the economy to make things equal for all of us. In fact, it's undemocratic to be subsidizing the dollar. What of those who have nothing to do with the dollar? So we now find, with that, a lot of resources have been freed up, which has allowed states and the federal government to have more resources to embark on developmental projects. As of 2023, when the president came in, many state governments were owing salaries. They could not pay. I remember I had a conversation with a governor, I don't want to mention his name, who said he could not even go back to his state capital. They were owing at least 6 months' salary. Today, no state government is owing salary. If you are owing, then that's criminal, because you have enough resources to pay your salaries and even pensions. So many were owing arrears of pensions. Nigerian state governments have never had it so good as they have now, because their resources have tripled I'm quoting the governor of Kaduna State who said that recently. The resources that the state governments are taking now have tripled since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in. If you are not taking those policies, that will not be possible. And so they are now able to pay salaries, they are able to embark on developmental projects, road construction, and some of the governors are doing exceptionally well. I saw the president go to Enugu to commission projects. I saw him go to Kaduna, go to Katsina, go to Nasarawa, go to some states to commission projects. And I was very much impressed. Well, that could not have been possible without the availability of more resources.
A lot of Nigerians will want to disagree with you because as much as, you as well as other APC members will say that President Tinubu's policies are working, it's yet to translate to the average man on the street. A lot of people are still feeling hungry. The inflation rate is quite high. People are asking, at what point will they begin to see the benefits of this reform?
Yes, thank you very much. That's a very good question. You see, it's not a great leader does not just want to play to the gallery to make people feel good, even when it is going to be against their own interest. Make you feel good. So it's like a child, you give him something so sweet, even though it's maybe contain poison, but it's so sweet. But the moment he's very happy. That was the kind of situation we're having in Nigeria. If you take a country like Venezuela, under their former president, Hugo Sanchez, they have the highest oil reserve in the whole world, and a lot of petrodollar was coming into the country. The man decided, being a socialist, to say that money should be shared to all citizens. They give you the catch, rather than embark on developmental projects. Where is Venezuela today? Crippled. Inflation is soaring and all that. But the people were happy at that point. If you have $10,000, I have $5,000. We are spending money, we are enjoying. That is not leadership. We have seen the effect of it today. A country that is supposed to be the richest in South America is today the poorest. So, it is not that. That is not how to demonstrate statesmanship. Yeah. Statesmanship is to think of the future. What is the future? Not to eat all the food today. Now, the policies, yes, it has not translated. Inflation is still high. But like I've said, gradually, things will normalize. Food inflation is reducing. If what I am hearing and what people are saying is correct, food inflation is reducing. Prices of imported goods have stabilized. We don't have a runaway inflation. What is dangerous to the economy is runaway inflation. Runaway inflation is a situation whereby today, you buy something at 500. Tomorrow it is 700. Another day it is 900. In 3 months, it's 1,005. That's a runaway inflation. You can't even predict anything. Before, people were telling me that Naira will exchange for the dollar at 2,000, 3,000. And I saw some people who tried to hold the dollar because they were thinking that maybe by December of last year or middle of last year, the dollar will be exchanging for 2,500. It never happened. Now it has stabilized somehow. That is the real economy. That's the real value. And I think that is good. It's commendable for the president. So, if you don't feel it immediately now, if you don't feel the impact of the government policies immediately now, be grateful for one thing. Realize it could have been worse for you. Assuming those policies were not in place, like I said, everything would have collapsed. State government will not have been able to pay salaries. Federal government will not have been able to pay salaries. Don't forget, under President Buhari, they were doing ways and means, printing Naira. For how long can you do that? Just printing, not back up with anything. So, that you are able to avoid that, be grateful to God. Because I always tell people, when you wake up, you tell yourself it could have been worse for you. Okay. But you are still, the present position is far, far better than what it could have been if those policies were not in place.
Just a quick
one. You may not have arrived at the Eldorado, but we're on the way.
Just for a few seconds. The man we were talking about has not said he wants to run. How do you intend to convince him to get into the race?
He has to run for the interest of the country. He has to. It's compulsory. We are going to make it compulsory for him to run because we can't allow him to go. We have seen the benefits of what he has done in the last 2 years. We want more of it. If we can have him for 6 more years, we know he will change Nigeria for the better completely. It's a paradigm shift. It's a fundamental shift in the way we used to do things.
Right.
And then, therefore, he cannot afford to say he wants to be selfish, he doesn't want to do anything, he wants to go and enjoy himself. We're not going to allow it. He must run.
We must say thank you so much for your contributions on the program today. It was a delight speaking with you.
Thank you. It's a delight speaking with you too. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, that's our package for today. We'll now hand you over to our Lagos studio, where Veronica and the rest of the team are standing by to continue with the rest of the show.
Right. Thank you, Tijesu and Eshamamo, for that interview.